a threat ahead of 2015 election, and the concern that elections might not hold in that region in 2015. Well, of course, INEC has assured us in its subsequent statement that, okay, next year, come next year, we will have election, definitely. That's it. But as it is now, do we really, with what is happening, how sure are we that elections might hold in that part of the country? That's one. And then looking at the fact that the so-called big masquerades from different political parties really have indicated their interest ahead the 2015 election. Well, it looks like a whole lot of drama is going to play out ahead 2015. Analysts are beginning to say, well, since this person is coming out, the other person is coming out, what could really play out in that respect? Well, we're going to be taking a look at all of these: insecurity, INEC preparation for 2015, and also the state of economy in the state now. Where are we exactly? Well, joining us to talk about this now is a regular guest in the house and a public affairs analyst, Victor Ohai. Thank you for joining us on the program
Thank you
again.
for having me.
Well, let's begin just lightly. What do you make of all of these activities, political activities, interests, individual interests ahead the 2015 election? Interest in terms of, okay, I want to be a president, I want to pick a nomination form and all of that. What do you make of all of this? Let's just take a look at overview of all this.
Of course, it's normal. It's election time. Uh, there will be vacancies in many state government houses. Um, um, some incumbents would have been serving out their terms, which means obviously they have to go. Uh, in some, incumbents would be seeking re-election. They might want to say there is no vacancy, but there will be those who will say, excuse me, there is a vacancy and I want to apply. And of course, there's the almighty, that's the presidency, which is generating a lot of interest naturally. And of course, the various legislative houses, you know, both at state and national level and local government level. So, as the case may be, I mean, you know, even though they do not run concurrently like the case used to be. So it's election time generally. So
All right.
there's a lot of buzz, a lot of activities. There's going to be, you know, campaigns and all of that. So it's that time. It's that time, you know. But it's also okay because what you see is a very active participation now by a lot of people. You see a lot of, in many cases, we're getting new people coming out, people that we didn't know before, are beginning to take an interest. You know, even at the presidential level, an example, for instance, would be Isaiah Nda of the Daily Trust or Leadership.
Yeah, he's a publisher of
He's
leadership.
a publisher, Leadership. Okay, you know, so I mean that's an unknown face, but he's he's thrown his heart into the ring right now for APC, for instance. Of course, PDP, there's a new phase there as well. When I say new phase, somebody who's going to go for a presidency before, the late Tafawa Balewa's son, who says he's interested. You know, so this is interesting. You know, so the coming days, weeks, and months will a lot of drama will unfold, and so we're waiting.
Let's look at those two characters, Sam and Isaiah in the APC, and the son of late Tafawa Balewa. Let's look at those two interesting characters. They've not even. A lot of people are saying that we've seen faces like, you know, the former head of state Buhari, Atiku, you know, indicating his interest, the context, and then, although PDP has actually adopted the president as the sole candidate of the party for 2015 election, now Tafawa Balewa is coming out. Now let's look at this. Don't you think that this is a good trend for our politics? Though we're still seeing where a situation where we're hearing that they might not be given a chance. But don't think it were paraded just like a whole lot of Nigerians are saying that were paraded known faces, a circle of people who have come out before.
I tell you what, you can never rule out anyone. And the chances they're taking is a good chance. It's a chance that gamblers take, and sometimes things work out in their favor. I'll give you an example, even if, although it's not exactly the same, but you recall that the late Sir Michael Otedola was like a dark horse when he was competing under the, it was on the NRC ticket, where we had two gladiators in SDP at the time, Agbala Jobi and Sarumi. And they fought and fought and fought and nearly destroyed themselves. And you know what? The public got sick and tired and decided to vote for the third force. And that's how Sir Michael Otedola became governor. The advantage of the third force sometimes is that if both parties destroy themselves, that person will just clean up after them, mop up after them. But again, you find that, and if you look at what's happening in, let's use APC as an example, for instance. There's Buhari, there's Atiku mainly, and then there's Isaiah Nda. If these two disagree, they might decide, look, instead of us giving it to you, we would rather vote for this third force.
Okay.
And that's a force that is waiting in the wings. You might just find that it'll be like water, no enemy, and it might just end up being, that might end up being what you call the true consensus candidate, where the two disagree and say, no, we cannot, I will not bow for you, this one says, I will not bow for you, and all that. Say, okay. And the third guy just cleans out, As for Tafawa Balewa, it's a good thing he has indicated interest. I mean, it's not always the best to say, okay, there's no opposition. At least one person, let it be that somebody has shown interest, because truly there is no situation like that exists like where you would say, oh, there is only one good head, only one good person, okay? But of course, the party is like what happens in the US, an incumbent will get the first right of refusal, So that might be the case here, and you don't want to rock the boat, but you don't stop people from aspiring. And so if he's interested, it could be a notice for the future, because whether he makes it now or not, by the next election, he would have become a force to reckon with, because by then people know, okay, you tried the last time, you did, now let's give him a chance, and all of that. So in politics, you find a lot of this playing out, and for the two, they're interesting figures. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But I tell you what, anything can happen. But you have to be available I mean, if you're not available, you cannot reap. Let me put it that way.
Okay. This is, Victor, this is very interesting. Looking at the fact that first, it was the PDP that went for sole candidacy. And now, APC is also preparing
for a consensus
candidacy.
Yes.
But there are some members of the party, like the governor of Kano State, Rabi Kwankwaso, who say, no, I don't think I will agree to consensus candidates. Even Isaiah and himself, he's saying, I don't think I have to agree with this consensus candidacy. There seems to be some sort of disagreement now. Do you think that's a looming crisis for the party?
I see it as a looming crisis. I see it as a big joke for APC, for instance, you're talking about consensus candidate. Let's look at the characters.
Because initially, we see a situation where they have come out to criticize PDP for adopting a candidate, a sole candidate, and now they're coming out to do the same.
I laughed, permit me to put it rather crudely, I laughed in vernacular when I heard them criticize PDP for adopting a consensus candidate. because of course, you know that it's been a tradition in the party to impose and say pick. I had a discussion just before coming here, a casual discussion with one of the reporters, and I said to her, I said, the difference between the two parties is that you might look at PDP and say sometimes unpopular candidates come out. How can they present someone like this? Someone who is obviously, but the reason is because most times they allow, what do you call it now? They allow democracy to prevail.
Okay.
They allow the voice of the people, which was why you will notice that when Peter Obi left government, he was the most likely candidate to be made Minister of Aviation. But the people in Anambra kicked against it. The people on the ground in PDP kicked against it. And they said, no, how can he just come and, and all of that? And then the president had to bow. And so in some parties, you find a situation. Koro, for instance, may not appear to some to be the best candidate for the PDP in Lagos, quote unquote, I say, may not, quote unquote. But he believes he's a man on the ground and that he has people. He said, look, let's go and test our popularity. Most people may prefer another candidate. They may think the other candidate has a better chance of winning. But the thing is, they will say, but they will allow the process. And if, quote unquote, the so-called wrong person comes out and he wins, so be it. In this case, for the first time, they adopted a consensus candidate. Okay? But in the case of APC, why I do not think, to answer your question directly now, why I don't think it will work is that this is, for once, democracy must have its way, or things will things will break. Nda Isaiah, right now, obviously, from my perspective, may not stand a good chance to compete against the incumbent PDP president if they are competing. I don't think he stands a chance. Within the party, APC is like a dark horse. But he insists that, maybe he wants to trade off. I don't know. Okay? Kwankwaso is insistent as well that he stands a good chance. But those are not the people that bother me. You know who bothers me?
All right.
The two leading gladiators. Okay. Atiku left a PDP to go into an APC. He didn't go into it to go and compromise with a how do I put it now? With a compromise to go and compromise with a consensus candidate. I don't think that was his plan. Buhari, for instance, I don't think he has waited this long to come and bow down for any other candidate. And so where is it going to come from? The only way to do it is, if they insist, then you might find the party, you find a situation where it will self-destruct, it's a self-immolation. That's immolation, that's what will happen. Because the Atiku people will not
agree to step down for Buhari.
I don't think, you see, they may pay lip service and say we'll cooperate with whoever the party chooses, but I doubt, especially if there's an imposition. If there's a free and fair contest, okay, and people vote openly and they adopt a Buhari, the others will put their hands together.
That's what
they adopt an Atiku.
He's saying.
Exactly. But if they insist on a consensus and they go ahead, PDP will just, they will just go to bed and sleep. They won't even need to campaign.
Yeah,
because from within, APC will self-immolate.
Well, interesting here, but don't you think it would be more, beneficial for the APC leadership to say, no, we've had enough of Buhari in the past, we have enough of Atiku. Now let's field a candidate, a fresh head, a fresh person wouldn't you think that would be more, more beneficial to the party?
You see,
that's what a lot of people are saying.
No, you have to understand also.
Fresh people.
No, you have to understand how parties think. Look at it this way: you cannot do that, and for a simple reason. If you put a fresh candidate, who is he coming to the table with? I'll give you a small example, for instance. If you have a man like Saraki who stepped down, voluntarily. You know he's coming with the whole of Kwara State, or most of it. You know?
Exactly.
If Adedibu, the late Adedibu, anoints someone, you know, he will back it up with the whole of Ibadan first and then all your votes.
All right.
Okay? Buhari has cult followership. Okay? In the north, particularly the northwest and parts of the northeast as well. Okay? So he has people who, that's why within a short time formed CPC, he made the kind of impact that he made. He has that kind of cult following. So you cannot say to him, you bring a fresh person. Atiku is, he's an excellent mobilizer. He's a student of the late Yaradua, Musa Yaradua, okay? And he knows how to mobilize. The reason they are not comfortable with him, why they are insisting on consensus, is that if they go to primaries, Atiku will clean out. He's done it before. He will do it again. He knows how to mobilize vote. I don't know.
You know, from at the grassroots level, isn't it?
Within the party, the party, knows how to. As for national election, I doubt. I don't think he has that. He doesn't have. Maybe this time he has gone to reinvent himself, and he knows he may be able to discover. He may have a few tricks up in his bag, you know. But for general election, Buhari has a greater chance. But within the party, if it's to mobilize votes for primaries, Atiku has it. So that's the problem. So that is a big dilemma for the party. Okay? Now, if they allow an Atiku does not have that cult followership. You cannot point to an Atiku stronghold anywhere in this country where you say, you will get block vote for Atiku from. So you can at least say Kano people will vote for him. Okay? And he may be able to
so
get
that's why they are okay.
So these are the calculations. So it's not easy times for APC, quite frankly. You know, it's not the easiest of times for them. That's why people are looking at it as like they still don't have a candidate. You know, however you look at it, each of the candidate has a strong point. Each of them has Isaiah has that freshness. Okay? He probably might, if he emerges, for instance, people might say, okay, enough for once, a breath of fresh air. Maybe we should try someone who has not been in this system before, and you will get people, obviously, who will do that because he's not coming with any baggage, at least not yet. Okay? So they all have their strong points. And we would have to, you know, just, how do I put it now? I don't envy them, quite frankly. These are the issues that they're faced with. But let's wait and see.
Okay, Victor, looking at, we had a lot of political parties right from, you know, when we really get independence. We've been running politics for quite a while now. But then, of course, it didn't happen until we have, you know, democracy in this country. Now, we've been having, you know, political parties until now. Now, but we've not put it into consideration where, or INEC has not even thought of, okay, where we need to have an independent candidate who want to come out swiftly. It may not be on any political parties. Now, until now, I don't think we're right for that. What exactly is really a problem that we're not, in other words, we have, apart from you have the Republican and the Democrats in the US and all of that, don't you think we should begin to think about that?
You see,
or are you saying we are not right for that kind of politics?
There are statements that we make that appear, we just say them like that, and they appear, they look innocent on the surface, but they have implications. Okay. Let me ask you, let me mention, let's for once analyze it and look at it.
Okay.
Independent candidacy, fine. What is it? What are the implications for independent candidacy? Of course, it's good to give people a chance. I would support it. But for INEC, think about the implication. If 10 other independent candidates come out, apart from the parties you have, look at the sheer logistics for those, because there are so many people who want to come out independently if the parties don't fail them. Okay? What is likely to, your ballot papers, if 100 independent candidates come out, you have 10 pages or more of ballot papers, for
All right.
instance. And that is right across the entire country. At the state level, 10 independent candidates come out for governorship. I'm just thinking, I only tell you about printing logistics.
All right.
Okay? For House of Assembly, 10 for each constituency and all that. You know, so the sheer logistics is a logistics nightmare. Or I don't want to say logistics.
So what you're saying is that we're not
No,
ripe
I'm
for
not
that.
saying,
yet.
no, I'm not
Okay.
saying. I mean, we may be mentally prepared for it.
Okay.
But I'm looking at it from INEC's point of view, cost implications and all that. Why don't people just go into, there's so many other parties. Go into those parties and grow those parties. Many of them don't have candidates.
Okay.
Mimico did it with Labour. Okay? This man is doing it with Accord in Oyo State, Ladoja. Okay? What is his name? Ojikalu did it with PPA. Benka Daniel did it with another PP. I don't remember the name of the party and all that. Why don't people just go into the existing parties and then see what they can do? Okay? Because you can't say an independent candidate, what you cannot mobilize with the name of another party, you can't do it on your own. If a Buhari were to go into another party, the same supporters will follow him. Those who believe in him will still vote for him. They'll vote for the candidate. It's not always about parties, you know. Sometimes the candidate matters.
Okay.
The advantage of a party is that you have people on ground who are ardent followers, who will vote a structure, who will vote only because it is a party. You understand? So that's my take on it, you know, and...
Okay, we heard by November 11, the president will be declaring.
Yeah.
And now we're also hearing that Tafawa Balewa's son, we may also pick a form. But according to him, he has also complained that, too. I've not been given a form. When I went to the secretariat, it's not available and all of that. Now, looking at 2015 from the angle of PDP and APC, do you think we should be considering the question of fielding the right candidacy for the 2015 election? When you look at taking the country to the next level where we have to be.
The right candidate is subjective. I just gave you a small analysis of why APC would think the way they are thinking. If you sit out there and then decide on your own, you say this is the right candidate, it doesn't always work out that way. The parties have their own calculations, okay? Why would a PDP, for instance, decide, look, Tafawa Balewa, wait for your turn? Remember, when they say consensus, in fact, this is the first time it is happening, particularly in this political dispensation. I was going to go way back. I was going to say the history of the country where you have an incumbent, maybe, anyway, let me not speak in absolute terms like that, but you find a situation where we were told that Obasanjo, for the second time, had to kneel before an Atiku. Okay? So we were told, begging him to, not to rock the boat so he could get the second. Because Atiku had, I told you, he's a great mobilizer within the party.
All right.
He knows how to get those votes for, But for once, in spite of what everyone has said about the president, for once, everyone says, within the party, they say, everybody has stayed back, consensus candidate. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that's what they've decided, okay? And in their wisdom, for whatever reason, they would have done their calculations. And the calculations may just be, okay, look, there's no point. We don't want any bad blood or anything where people begin to, because of discontent. The advantage, the biggest thing that happened to PDP was the defection.
Okay.
If that defection didn't happen, what is happening now would not have happened. All those who would have given the incumbent a run for his money are the people that defected into APC. You understand? So they left the coast clear for him. So you understand what I'm saying? Those who were left behind are those who believe in him. Those who didn't believe in him left. So, so there was a problem. You know?
Okay, well, we'll come back to some issues, but let's quickly come back here in Lagos. Yesterday, the former Accountant General of Lagos, who have worked in the civil service for over 20-25 years, declared his interest in to run as a governor. That's talking about Akinwumi Ambode. And now, of course, looking at APC and PDP, well, we have Obanikoro, who is also coming on the platform of PDP. We have Jimmy Agbaje on the platform of PDP. We also had, at the other side of APC, Akinwumi Ambode is now out. We also had Gani Solomon and Ikuforiji, the Speaker of the... Now, let's look at this. What do you see playing out for ahead 2015 in terms of the governorship race in Lagos State?
Well, the other names you mentioned for APC, I think those ones are just... Ikuforiji, I think, is a joker, and the reason is because...
Why do you say
I will
that?
tell you that he will not fight against his own guy. He's only going there to make a show of... Gani Solomon, I think, is more serious because he has stated why he thinks he needs to, you know, contest. But I don't see Ikuforiji going against the Godmaster and the Godfather. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, I think that's just a big joke, you know. Ambode is the anointed of the Godfather and the Godfathers. Okay. But what worries me about, I mean, everyone has a right to contest, you know, but what worries me about this whole thing is, I really feel sorry for Lagos State indigents who have never been given a chance to rule their state. Apart from, what's his name? I'm talking democratic. Yes, only Otedola.
Dispensation.
Otedola is the only indigene, not Lagosian. That word Lagosian, everybody claims Lagosian. When people say Lagosian, they are hiding under the fact that they are not indigenes of Lagos. Anybody who is an indigene of Lagos will not necessarily tell you he's a Lagosian. It will tell you where he's actually from. Unfortunately, I spoke to somebody in the Lagos Civil Service some time ago. I said, they are a minority. They cannot talk. If they talk, they will crush them. So non-indigenes have been ruling them for so long, unfortunately. It's only PDP that is fielding indigenes. You know? Ambode came claiming to come from here. Unfortunately, you know, the father is actually from Ondo State. The current governor is from Ekiti State. Jakande from Kwara State. Tinubu we hear is Osun State. So, you know, but they all claim to be Lagosians. Okay? So, but it's okay. The thing is that I know that some indigenes of Lagos are now saying, look, enough. You know, that's people who are truly, from Lagos. They are saying enough. I don't know how it's going to pan out, but I hear what that guy said. He said they are in the minority. Everyone comes here and claims we are Lagosian.
It seems everyone is pitching its tent with Ambode, though the primary has not come.
No,
why is it?
Ambode has been anointed.
Okay.
You can't fight against the Godfather.
So any other person that is trying to indicate interest,
he's just a joker.
He's just wasting his time.
Just a joker. He's a byproduct.
So what do you call that? Do we call that as in position or?
Did you not see that the declaration was in Onikon Stadium?
Yes.
Did you not see the crowd that came to Onikon Stadium? The others will just declare in their kitchen. Or they just go to one hotel, take one hall in a hotel and make declaration. He's been anointed.
Okay, how much chance do you think PDP has in Lagos in 2015?
PDP is where I fear they may destroy themselves. Okay? There's Kuru, there's Jimmy Agbaje.
Okay.
Jimmy Agbaje appears to be a clear favorite of most Lagosians, or many Lagosians, let me put it that way. Let me not speak in such absolute terms. But Koro has said they should go there and test their popularity. And he didn't just say it, he backed it up by stepping down from the president's cabinet to say he's going there to contest. He has people on the ground. And many people have said he's not, that he may have, it's like the Atiku Buhari thing. Okay?
All right.
Koro seems to be able to have, he thinks he will have the delegates. But when it comes to general election, the Lagos Island, I know it has, but I don't know about the rest of Lagos. I've listened to people, I interview people, you know. When I'm in places, randomly, I just throw the question, who would you prefer, who would you rather vote for? The clear favorite is Jimmy Agbaje, but the Koro factor is there. You might find another Sarumi and Agbala Jobi thing playing out again.
Okay.
If they are to fill Jimmy Agbaje, then APC has a tough one. I can tell you that, in spite of the Ambode factor. If Jimmy Agbaje were to emerge,
so
then
Agbaje might be the very tough candidate against the APC.
Obviously, there's no hiding the fact. We all know that.
Okay. Victor, let's quickly take a break. Okay. When we come back, we'll discuss more. Of course, it's getting interesting here. And when we come back, the phone line will also be open. This is called Digest. Be back after this time out.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on Core TV News.
Step down.
Glad to have you back now. It's called Digest, weekend edition. And Victor High, a public affairs analyst, is still here. We're talking about the state of the nation ahead 2015 general elections. Now, yes, let's move away from politics in Lagos now and talk about the constitution amendment. It's still in the news. Let's look at it. There are so many things we have to talk about. What do you make of, talking about Lagos local government autonomy? We're talking about immunity clause and all of that. What you make all of these?
Let me start with the immunity clause. I think it should stay. There will be abuse. Let me tell you this.
Why do you think so?
Wait, 4 years, 8 years is not too long. People will come out and they will face the music. Look, I tell you what, things are getting better. A person may be there. Today, Anibori, you may say he's in jail only in England. But we have seen people go to jail in this country, and many more will go to jail. 4 years or 8 years is not a long time. Let people do what they do. A time will come when even presidents will go to jail, ex-presidents will go to jail.
All right.
Leave the immunity clause so that you don't rock the boat.
Because a lot of people are saying that
you can see what is happening.
Immunity actually is aiding embezzlement and all of that in the office. And so
it will also distract. Look, people will leave it. Let them embezzle. When they come out, they will face the music. Here we were looking at Ekiti House and looking at 50 million naira bed and sheer opulence. The way money has been spent in that place. It's coming to the fore now, is it not? The man doesn't have immunity anymore. If EFCC decides to go after him, where's the immunity? The day of judgment is coming. Everybody, that's why God allows evil people to prevail. He gives evil people immunity. He knows that there is a judgment day coming. You understand what I'm saying?
Because a lot of people say, okay, immunity, if you talk about immunity,
yes,
when they come out, you say if they come out.
Of course they will. They can't be there forever.
They will face the music.
Yes.
But the question is that we have cases of corruption, cases of embezzlement, and misappropriation of funds in this country. Why somebody was in the office and now he's out? We have cases like that that have not been.
I'll tell you something.
Really
there is always a day when a Daniel comes to judgment. You see, it's a different party now in Ekiti, isn't that so? Okay? There will always come a day when the person who will cover you will not be there. Do you understand? So, if we do it, I promise you, many states will not be governed at all. See the way they are abusing the impeachment thing now. You can see what is happening. Now they want to impeach the governor in Ekiti by other means. Or if they don't like your face, they will use the state assembly to remove you. It's just like a sheer abuse of the process. And I think we should let, for the sake of sane and good people, let's leave it.
Do you think that that part of, impeachment process, that part of law that says you can remove, two-thirds of a whole assembly can remove a serving governor, a sitting governor, don't you think, now that you say he's been abused, don't you think that clause should be revisited in terms of amending that part of,
no, it is a check,
law
it's a necessary,
that empowers
no,
them
it
to
is
do
a
that?
necessary check for the executive. It's a necessary check. But the problem is, like now, where people go to tribunal and then governorship election is different from legislative election. I'm sure the writers of the Constitution never envisaged something like that, where maybe one party was willing before, a different party now comes in as governor.
All right.
Then the other party will now come and sack him. Using that. They never envisage that. So these things are evolving, emerging. I don't know how they can amend that, but I think it should be left there. If a person enjoys the support of the people, even the legislators will be careful.
Now, ahead of 2015, we also...
You asked me 2 questions. I have not answered the second one.
Okay, go ahead. You talk local government autonomy?
Local government autonomy.
Okay.
2 things. It's either that you scrap the issue of federal government giving allocation to local government entirely, so that everything goes to the state and the state has nothing to steal from the local, because the governors, most of them just practically steal money that belongs to the local government, which is why they are just there as stooges. They don't do it. As the money comes, they just hold it back. And many of them have taken over the roles of the local government. So the best is, okay, give it to him so he has nothing to steal anymore. Then you begin to develop everywhere. There's no point separating the allocations anymore. Or create true autonomy for the local governments and let the governors just stay out completely.
How would that play out?
No, but
if you create two on that.
Why? Let the local governments be completely independent of the states. And then let them develop. But that was what was envisaged during the 79 Constitution.
Okay, let's quickly pick up this call. Anna's calling from Abuja. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning, Anas.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm just watching a program from Abuja.
All right, go ahead.
I heard your guest. He made a very beautiful analysis. But honestly, he has seriously underrated the Kano State Governor Kwankwaso. Because in terms of partisan politics, he was even in politics before Atiku. And don't forget, he contested 12 elections. He 11, and he got all the 11 and he failed one. And he's a serious mobilizer. Don't be surprised if they go for that primary. Don't be surprised he will take the ticket. And he has a very large followership in the north, just like Buhari. And I see him as Buhari at the end of the day working together. So really, you can put Buhari, Kwankwaso on the same footing. Then maybe Atiku can come, just as you said, Atiku can come much behind them. So that's just my contribution.
Respond to what you're saying.
Anas, I understand.
I guess it's gone anyway.
No, please, I hope he's on. Oh, my God.
Okay, he's going to be listening.
Okay, okay.
Just go ahead.
I really wanted us to engage, you know. I do not underestimate the Kwankwasia factor. I do not underestimate it at all. If Buhari is not there, then he's a man to beat. I know that. Okay. I am aware of that fact. I know that he has large following in the north. Yeah? But the thing is, in the way it is right now, you have to look at, there are 2 issues. I talked about within the party. If he's in a general election, clearly he would dust Atiku because he has he has
huge
following.
followers.
And you remember I mentioned, I said Kano for sure, and
It's for Kwankwaso.
and yes, and for and a large part of the north. I mentioned that. If you recall, I said so. I said he will have following in other northern states as well. But in terms of, you know, followership, it will be Buhari's own is a cult following. You understand? But where Kwankwaso might have an issue is in the area of delegates. I said, in terms of mobilizing delegates, Atiku, I don't know how he does it, but he was a good student of Musa Yar'Adua, and he knew how to do from the PDM days. Okay? So he will be able to do that mobilization within the party. But for general elections, Kwankwaso can get block votes from the north, clearly, like Buhari. And so if a Buhari steps down, the only candidate that can bring the northern votes is Kwankwaso. Atiku is neither here nor there.
So let's see if the APC leadership will come to an agreement and say, okay, even if we are going to field a consensus candidacy, maybe we'll have to consider who has the largest followers.
No, but because you know what? There is the APC will deliver, they will do their best to deliver the Southwest. Okay? So what you need now is a marriage
let's quickly talk to
between the two, the North
Chile,
and the Southwest.
Chile from River State. Hello, please turn down the volume of your TV set, then you can go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, turn down the volume of your TV set. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello, Chile. I guess he just can't get us now.
Hello?
Well,
Hello,
I think we need to move.
He's on.
Hello? No, it's gone. Just call back again. Call back again, please, Chile. From River State. Just quickly before we go, I think we've talked much on that, but quickly, just before we go, because we'll soon round up this program, the registration of parties, political parties, we've seen where INEC has, you know, the registers of political parties in the past, and then we have about 20 or 22, I don't know now. I don't have the figure.
Back.
I don't have the figure with me now. Are you back now? Are you there now, Chile? Hello, Chile?
That's all the time. Yeah.
Hello, good morning. Good afternoon. Go ahead, please.
Afternoon, my brother. I want to add my voice to the issue you are discussing.
All right, go ahead. Quickly.
Since 100% agree with the man that you are talking with. When it comes to issue knowing what the election is about, there is no how Kwankwaso can be compared to Buhari or Atiku. And there is something people don't really understand. You can't move out from one particular political party to another new party and wants to lock on the people that are there already, the same party people. So for Kwankwaso to come out and wants to contest president, he is just not making sense. He has to stay and allow Buhari and Atiku to iron it out, and then subsequently perhaps he can come out in the next dispensation. Not now.
Chile, let me quickly ask you this question.
Hello.
Hello, let me quickly ask you this question. Rabi Kwankwaso is saying,
Hello?
I don't agree with the consensus decision, fielding a consensus candidacy for 2015 by the APC. What do you have to say about that?
Kwankwaso should wait. In 2019, Kwankwaso can come out. It is not a matter of abusing anybody and abusing anybody not ready to accept consensus. All over the world, consensus works. There is now, because in a matter where, in a situation where you have some people, if you want to go through the normal process, you will end up causing a problem for the party. So they have to sit down, the two gladiators, Atiku and Buhari have to sit down. If they want to flex with the president, they have to sit down and then decide with themselves who to step down. Of course, it's not going to be an easy one. I wish them luck.
Okay, thank you very much, Chile, for that. This it's still. I'm
Unfortunately,
sure a
I'll
lot
come
of
to
people
that.
who are watching now are
Yes.
interested in the Kwankwaso's decision and all of that with
Unfortunately,
the
his
APC,
candidacy might undermine
the
Buhari.
Buhari and Atiku's
He
candidacy.
will undermine Buhari because the Kwankwaso votes are the same votes for Buhari.
Okay.
You know, so they will just be splitting the votes, and they might just give Atiku a chance again. Unfortunately.
Okay.
Unless the party insists on that consensus and impose, in which case they decide, okay, it's a Buhari, everybody step that. It doesn't matter whether you like it or not. If they do that, fine. But if they don't, then between Kwankwaso and Buhari, they have to agree on who and then deliver block votes during the primaries.
Okay, interesting. Now let's talk about the registration of political parties by INEC. Is this really good for our politics? Looking at the fact that a lot of them who are interested, just like Fresh Democratic Party was deregistered. I can remember that. So what do you make of that?
Well, I believe that there are requirements, both for registration and, permit me to use the language, maintenance. Why do I say so? Even your account, if you don't service it, after a while you go into dormancy in a bank. You have to service it. And maybe there are requirements you have to, apart from that of registration, probably you have to win a minimum number of seats and things like that. And if you do not fulfill them, INEC has lawyers. They have lawyers, and they would do
because
what they
I
need to
recall some of them went to court, challenging INEC in court, and they say, why would you deregister us?
The fact that you are once registered does not mean, even the CAC, when a company does not do what it's supposed to do, you don't file your annual returns.
Okay, let me quickly.
After a while, they are deregistered.
Let's quickly pick up this call. Dr. Bagiwa calling from Castina.
That should be an interesting one.
Hello. Hello, Dr. Bagiwa. Hello, good morning. Go ahead and make a contribution.
Hello.
Hello, doctor.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, very fine. Thank you. Go ahead and make your contribution quickly.
Yes. I just opened my TV now. So you are discussing about 3 candidates about NCC. Is it okay?
Yes.
Hello.
Go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay, my contribution is that among the 3 candidates we are discussing about, I think as far as North is concerned, we are more comfortable with General Buhari as a veteran in the political region. That's number one. Number 2 is, if you look at the whole idea of this prevention thing, you know, Kwankwaso and Atiku entered the merger of this APC late, and I cannot imagine at this time they will come and say that they want to contest presidency in this structure. I think it's possible for them, if they can give support to one northern candidate, that we can harmonize and where it is the party of Southeast and Southwest, then we will have support of Southwest so that we can be able to make this country move forward. So I think we should please stop trying to compare the 3 of them. Everyone has his own integrity and has his own level of understanding of people. But when you talk about this massive pattern of the law, nobody, 80 to 90%, is always there on history. Look at the election in 1998. But I have never got to make 80% of all these votes except 3 or 4 in the whole northern region. So if you compare with the most support from the Southwest and then the South and the support from the Southeast, I believe that we are going to make a change. We are not after anything. We want to change this county progressive way where everybody will be happy.
Okay, Dr. Bagiwa, let me ask you this question quickly. What do you make of the sole candidacy for PDP and, of course, the son of former head of state Tafawa Balewa? Prime Minister, rather. Can you hear me?
No, that is not an issue. We're just trying to bring the name out. It's not an issue.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm hearing you now, yes.
No, I'm saying that, what do you make of the son of former Prime Minister Tafawa Balewa, who is contesting alongside the president?
That who is not a political maneuver of PDP. They just want to give an initial support where he doesn't have any contribution. Nobody knows about that. Nobody knows about his father. That is a concern in northern region politics. They're just coming for the first time now. So it's not good.
Hello? Oh, we lost him there. Well, I think he was trying to make a very important point there. But then, before, just quickly, you want to react to that?
Well, I think his answer was to, I think he was, for me, he was replying, who was it now? From the earlier caller from Abuja.
Yes.
You know, they both, I believe he's replying to him because, like I said, in terms of pulling votes, particularly from the north, you will have a Buhari first and then a Kwankwaso. And what I fear now is that the Kwankwaso factor may undermine Buhari because the votes that are going to Buhari are obviously the same votes that Kwankwaso is going to be getting, you know. Okay. And unless he steps down for Buhari, what you might find is a situation where Atiku may just end up running away with it.
Okay, just quickly before we go now, before we round off finally, just quickly give us your take. INEC has assured Nigerians that, okay, we're having election in the northeast of Nigeria where we are having currently battling insurgents now. What do you make of that? Do you think...
I'm sure I think elections can hold. Even today, elections can hold in the northeast.
But the kind of...
I think elections can hold.
Gun battles with the military.
I think elections can hold. I think elections can hold. I don't think there's any problem.
Okay.
I mean, you know, yes, you get occasional incursions and all that, but there'll be adequate security, just the same way Ekiti was, you know, should I say policed or soldierized, you know, and some of the other states, Anambra, Ondo, and the rest. I think there'll be adequate security on ground, and why not?
All right. Well, that's exactly where we round it up here today. Thank you very much, Victor Hai. Has been wonderful and fantastic on the show. He is a public affairs analyst. Thank you for coming again.
Thank you for having me.
And well, you viewers that call, and I know some of you were trying to call and you just couldn't get through. We're so sorry about that. Try another day. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Frank Omalape. Up next is News on the Hour.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV. Leave a space, then news. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.